So we are here with Marcus from the band This Modern, but we're changing it up a bit today also because I have a co-host, and her name is the lovely, classy Lauren Case.
You always have to include the lovely classy.
Yeah, top of the class, yes.
Top of the class.
And I didn't know this, but you guys met before, right?
Yes.
Explain where
at least
or
one
when
time.
you guys met.
Rebel Lounge.
Yep, it was.
it?
That's what I'm going with. I don't remember whose show it even was.
They all
It could have
blend
been
together.
like, yeah, I know. It could have been like a Viper Club show. Have you been to a Viper Club show?
I have.
It might have been that. But
We're
I
gonna
don't
go
know.
with that.
Yeah,
Sure.
But I
That's
remember,
where you guys met.
Yeah, no, I came up and I was like, "Hey, you're really awesome. I love your voice." And you were like, "Thank you." Yeah, and I think your exact wordage was like, "What do you do in the industry?"
What do you do?
Like, well, I'm the front man of This Modern. You're like, oh, okay. But it was like really brief, and then I don't know. I felt like I might have met you again through Chase Warren,
Okay.
just because he lives at our studio or like in the house connected to our studio.
Yeah.
Jason
Shout out
Warren.
Chase Warren.
Yeah, he helped directed that Color 8 video, Two Turns.
Yes, he did.
Two Turns.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So I think that's where I met you twice.
Well, it's great to see you again.
Yes, it's great to
Excited
see
to
you.
interview
We're here.
you to
Yes.
co-host today with the amazing Austin
No,
Kelly.
no,
Fantastic
no.
question asker.
Nah, question asker. I never heard that before.
Official title.
Future
Question
Larry King.
asker. Huh?
Future
Larry
Larry
King.
Yeah,
King.
there you go. See, I'm like, I had to hear it again. What? What?
You're already halfway
Yeah.
there.
So, Marcus, you
Yes.
wanted a mixture of
Yep.
Big Blue Van and Cali Creamin'.
Yep.
Why?
One time I was at this place called Doghouse. I don't know if you guys have been to Doghouse Beer Garden.
Doghouse is so good.
Yeah, it is so good. And
Yeah.
they just opened up a new one in Chandler right by where I live. But anyways, the one at Santan Mall, I would go and I would ask for the Big Blue Van because I kind of like the Big Blue Van. And he was like, well, have you tried crossing it with the Cali Cream? And I was like, no, I don't ever mix beers like that, That just seems like something.
does?
Yeah, exactly. And so I tried it, and I was like, dude, what? So even like when I'm in Havasu and I go to College Street where Big Blue Van is made, I'll try to have them cross it with something. The guy up at the actual brewery will tell me to like cross it with a stout or a porter. And I've tried that, but it's not as good. I just prefer this right here. Something about it. It's like sweet. It goes down really.
You said something about like a blueberry cream.
Blueberry ice cream.
Kind
Very,
of,
like-
yeah. Not exactly in like a super beer way, but like, yeah, it's like a creamy blueberry is the way I like to put it.
You want to cheers to that?
Cheers to
Let's
that.
cheers to our drink.
Thanks for having me.
It's honestly really good.
Yeah,
really
I'm not a
good.
big beer
Yeah.
person, but you're right. It totally goes down
For
a little
some
too
reason.
easy.
I'm going to get sauced after this, too.
Yeah.
Fit in with your hat. Tell me what sauce is about. Tell us what sauce is about.
Sauce is a vape company. They're the #2 vape company in California. They're now in Arizona, and I just kind of do the sales for them. I've been working in cannabis for like 7 years, and I just know everybody, and I just go around and sell vapes into dispensaries, and that's how I make like my living outside of music.
Are you currently high now?
No,
No.
I actually don't smoke a ton of weed.
Oh.
I used to smoke a shit ton of weed, and like if I'm hanging out with like Emmett, I'm smoking a shit ton of weed. But it just depends. Like I don't know. They say like chefs don't like to cook all day and then come back home and like start cooking more. And for me, it's just like I'm surrounded by it all day, and I talk about it all day, and like it's my whole livelihood. To where I get home and I barely crave it anymore. But aside from the occasional like gummy before bed or something like that, and I'm always have like a vape, but I never smoke flower or take dabs or like anything like that.
Dabs can
anymore.
mess you up, man.
Yeah,
mess you
but
up.
back in the day, it was like a daily thing. But just nowadays, I'm just like, dude, don't get it out of my face. Like when I get home.
Is it primarily because of being around it so much? Is that the main reason why you've cut back, or did you decide it's not fitting in with your lifestyle as well?
No, I didn't even. I never like had the thought like I'm gonna cut back on smoking weed. Not even once. I think just over time, I just craved it less and less and less. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, nothing really happened or anything. I just didn't crave it as much anymore, and so I wasn't gonna just like force weed down, even if I wasn't feeling it.
Are you going to have that same feeling with alcohol? Are you ever going to like
Chill on alcohol.
chill on alcohol?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe at some point in my life, but I don't see that.
You got to become a bartender first, I guess.
Yeah,
By
see,
this
if I was a
logic.
bartender, see, that's same thing. Like if if I was like a beer salesman, for example, I'm just like talking about beer all day, every day. Like I might not get home and immediately crave a beer just because like I'm just consuming so much beer content all day.
Yeah.
I guess.
Lauren, you have cocktails that you make all the time. Yeah,
Fairly
for fun,
often,
right? For
fairly often, not an
Have you seen her
alcoholic, but-
cocktails?
No. I should have had you on Happy Hour with Marcus then.
Happy Hour with Marcus. Is that like a little
Ah.
podcast that you guys do?
Yeah, I did it over COVID, but it was
Oh,
like I'd bring a
cool.
guest in, we'd make a cocktail and do like
Oh.
a thing like that. So I
Very
should have had you
nice.
on that because I had like a bunch of the local folks on.
Yeah,
Next
okay.
time, maybe when
Local
I reboot it.
folks.
And would you usually make just classic recipes or do a twist involving their music or their style? How would you do it?
We would just find like the craziest recipe we could find online.
Really?
Yeah. And I
What's
would
a
just be
crazy
like,
one?
There was a lot. So if you go to the Ciroc website, they have like a whole menu of cocktails, a ton
Jeez.
of recipe ideas and stuff like that. And that was like our drink for the longest was Ciroc. So we went through like a bunch of those. But I remember this rapper Joseph Bills came on one time and he requested like a Hennessy, a special Hennessy. I don't really know Hennessy that well, but there was like a special Hennessy
Got a
that he
cool-
wanted
yeah,
me to
Hennessy
pick off.
could-
And so we made a Hennessy cocktail, which I have never really drank a Hennessy cocktail. I don't remember what it was, but a Hennessy base with Rio Wiley. We did a gin base. He wanted the aviation gin, so I got Ryan Reynolds aviation gin, and like we got smashed. We got thoroughly
Nice.
smashed. Yeah.
Gosh, man.
I just got. Oh, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you
Are
go.
Sure? All right. I just got reminded of a story when you brought up Ciroc. I had never had Ciroc. I didn't know what spirit it was at all.
Right.
The only time I've ever had Ciroc was at that studio. I had many green apple Ciroc shots.
Oh, at our studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, see
so
that?
apparently that was
You were at the right place. Yes,
a
we're
key
talking about
part
the right
of
place.
your guys'
Did you get sauced?
I got minutely sauced.
Minutely sauced.
Were you working on a song, or was it a live
Nope, it was
session?
just like a
the
hang.
live.
I was there with one of my friends, Nikki, my other friend Tony.
Oh.
Yeah, we were all hanging over there. Jack was there for
Shout
a
out to
minute.
Nikki and Tony. I
Yeah.
always said those two together. They need to start a pizza shop because Nikki and Tony is
Pizza
such like
shop?
a pizza.
Nick-
Oh,
Nikki and
Nick and Tony.
Tony.
Nick and
I haven't
Tony.
heard that. That's great.
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, they were good friends with Tim and Jack, and so I knew them kind of too. So
Yeah.
yeah, similar circles we run in.
Small world in AZ.
Small world. I feel like we all like kind of know everyone, right? Like I feel like we all know mutual
Yeah.
people.
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of sauced,
Yeah.
you have
Yes.
a new single with your band, 1980s.
1980s. Yeah.
1980s.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that. And with that, the new EP's coming out too.
It's not.
It's
Oh.
not.
It was supposed to.
Oh
And
my
I went
gosh.
on that interview with my friend Harry, and I totally announced it to the world, and then we changed our mind.
Gosh.
So we all like
Been there.
my manager was like, "Should we call him and tell him to edit it up?" I'm like, "No, like it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If there's riots in the streets, I'll have to answer for my crimes." But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think it should be fine. Like if anyone asks for it, like I'll just explain that things changed. But yeah, 1980s came out. It's like a super fun, summery pop punk song. I wrote it about my girlfriend, and it's about how like her parents really want us to get married like super quick, and neither of us are in the rush to
Oh.
do so. So the line's like, it's not exactly what her parents want. Don't listen to it now. She don't like when I'm not around. So yeah, it's just about like that pressure and just like appreciating each other's company without like the pressure of like getting married and stuff like that. And like it might not be what her parents would like envision, like a guy in a band. You know what I mean? Sort of a situation. And so, yeah, that was just kind of my way of talking about that. And like, I reference like certain tattoos of hers that she has. So yeah, it's really just about my girlfriend and like that pressure, that external pressure to like get married and do all that sort of stuff. When in reality, like we're just.
Do you guys have matching tattoos?
We both have Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we both have Mickey Mouse, but mine is different than hers. Hers is really like cute right here, tiny thing, and then mine's like a big angry Mickey right here on the inside of
badass
my knee.
Mickey.
Yeah, he's a little badass. So
Badass Mickey, huh?
yeah, so I guess kind of we have matching tattoos, but not really.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, that's 1980s. But we wanted to release it in the summer just because it's like a fun song. Good time to
Nice.
release fun music.
Hey, Lauren, you want to put your microphone down a little bit, like so it's
Oh.
not covering your face?
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there you go.
listened to. Bring it in.
And bring it in.
Is that good? All right.
Sweet.
I listened to the song on the way over here,
Oh, yeah.
1980s. I really like it. I really like your voice.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have like a traditional like rock voice, And so I try to capitalize on that where I can. I was listening to like we got shared on this like new pop punk TikTok reel or something like that, and they were like, "Here's a new like pop punk that was released today," and it was like the first 3 songs they played before 1980s. Every singer sounded the exact same.
Wow.
I played it for my girlfriend, and she was just like, "I thought it was one song," you know, because like it
Really?
seems like a lot of voices are very similar, and so when mine came on, it like stood out even to me. So I was like, "That's pretty cool." That made me feel really good. I don't feel like I sound like anyone in particular. I've always felt that way. So yeah, I didn't always love my voice because it's not like classically trained, but I'm learning to like love the.
You got a
intricacies of
sexy
it.
voice, man.
Thanks,
Come on.
man.
I've listened to a lot of your songs already
Thanks.
to prepare for this, and you got a sexy voice. One of
Thanks,
my
man.
favorite ones that you've been a part of, well, it was with Futuristic, actually,
yeah.
the Billie Eilish cover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
love
that
your
was
part in that.
cool.
Yeah.
What was one of the, about to be 30, come and fuck with the old?
Yeah. yeah.
Are you the second voice that comes in on that song?
Yeah.
The something about butt cheeks hanging out?
Yeah, that's the unholy, the butt cheeks hanging out
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, sorry, unholy.
Yeah. We've done a bunch of them now, though.
Yeah.
And we're working on a bunch more. They just all perform so well. It's like, might as well just keep them coming.
Yeah.
We've got a Cruel Summer Taylor Swift one coming out,
Oh,
and it's
Oh.
so good.
She can't wait for
that's
that.
awesome.
It
I'm
is
super
so good.
excited.
Yeah, it is super duper good. And so I think we're gonna release that like sometime in August. Futuristic. He's gonna get mad at me for leaking too much, but like, yeah, probably in August, like August 11th specifically.
Oh, wow. I'm excited for that. How are you guys going to make it your own? What are you doing to the song?
Well,
Because
it's
I'm sure
already
it'll be
done.
pretty different.
It's already
What
done.
have you done?
Yeah, so it's just like super upbeat, guitar based. It's I think that song with Taylor Swift is more like synth kind of based. And so yeah, just real guitar, real drums, real bass. Just turn it into just like a higher energy pop punk song. I think we nailed it. Like I honestly think we nailed it. And Futuristic, his name is Zach, so I just call him Zach. But he nails some falsetto takes in the chorus that are just like, what the fuck? Like,
Okay.
how I didn't even know he could do that.
Yeah.
So he just nailed it. He nailed that chorus, and then I come in on the second verse. That's kind of what we've been doing. And
Can't wait to listen to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
that-
awesome.
Maybe I'll play it off camera.
Yeah, there you go. Off camera only. You guys
Camera
don't.
only.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. So, and then I remember you invited me out to one of your shows, and it was Mother's Day.
Oh yeah.
Was that at the
Ryan
Rebel
Oaks.
Lounge?
Yeah, that one was
Yeah.
with Ryan Oaks at the Rebel Lounge on
Yeah.
Mother's Day.
Yeah. How was that show?
That show was cool, man. It was
Yeah.
actually really fun, and like Ryan Oaks' team was really great, and our guitar player does guitar sometimes for the band that opened for us, Sharia Moore, and they were fucking awesome. So yeah, it was a great night. I think Mother's Day put a damper on everything.
I know. I told you, I'm like, man, I'm just having dinner with my mom. I can't make it.
Yeah.
Did you get some moms out at the show?
Yo, yeah,
Yeah?
for sure. Had
That's where they
shout
wanted
out
to
all the
spend their
moms.
day.
Yeah, and that's what I try to tell people that like
I should have
"Are you a
went.
mom?"
I
Yeah.
should have went then.
Yeah, you
I'm into
should've.
moms.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're into moms, like it would have been a great
Yeah.
hotspot for you that particular night.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too because
Damn, I didn't
then
think about
on
that.
Father's Day, same exact thing happened where we got the call day of to open the Loveless show at Crescent Ballroom, and that was on Father's Day. So I had to like cancel my Father's Day plans with my dad. Be like, hey, I got this opportunity, but he was like, you got to take it.
Did he go?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it was sold out. It was
Oh.
like beyond sold out. Like I couldn't get anybody in. But
Mm.
yeah, he didn't get to make it. He's been to a few, but yeah, I had to bail on my Father's Day. So I played Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Oh,
this year. So
man.
sorry to my mom and my dad.
So on that note, are they generally very supportive of your musical endeavors? And you have
Yeah. These days, for sure. When I first started making music, my first project dropped in New Year's Day 2011. And so I was like in high school making music, and they hated it.
really
Oh.
Hated it.
hated it.
Hated
That's a
it.
strong word.
Yeah, and it's just like they're way too rational of people to like want me to be pursuing something like music, just being so like unpredictable and like not a lot of people make it in music, and so for them it was just like, hey, you should be devoting yourself to other stuff, and so yeah, a ton of resistance at first when I was a kid. Nowadays, like they eat it up, they come out to the shows and like have the best time ever.
Aw. What changed?
I think once they just saw it come to fruition a little bit more. You know, when I first started, it's like this is just a phase sort of a thing. But I think like 10 years in, it's like holy shit. And
He's in it, man.
yeah,
He's in it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Took like they've both been to huge shows of mine, and like just finally got to like see it all actualized to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna put my hands up and just support the best that I can. And so yeah, both of them.
Hell yeah.
Every time I hit like a milestone or something cool happens, my dad's not on social media. He doesn't have a Spotify or anything like that. So like he's the first person I'll shoot like all my good news to. And I'll be like, Dad, like we've got 260,000 monthly listeners, and he's like, holy cow, you could fill an arena with that. And I'm just like, yes, Father. Yes,
Do they have any like critiques when they listen to your music sometimes? Or
No. When I first started making rock music, after I stopped making rap music, my mom hated it. She was just like, this doesn't sound like you. But no, aside from that, my mom didn't really like the rock stuff at first. But no, they don't ever critique me like musically. They just kind of sit back and listen. But I'll watch my dad. He sings words in the crowd. So I'm like, all right.
There you go. So he
Yeah,
listens.
exactly. So that's always nice.
That's really funny that your mom was more supportive of rap
Yeah.
and wasn't a fan when you switched to rock, usually the other way around. Was she just a bigger fan of rap, or that fit you better and so she just couldn't see the vision for you with rock?
My mom's like a old school R&B hip hop type of a gal.
Okay.
Like Ashanti.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so she just has always preferred that sort of music, and I think she just got so accustomed to hearing me do that to where when I switched, it was kind of abrupt, and she was just like, this doesn't sound... She's real into soulful music, you know? And so I think the rock... She's never liked rock in my whole life. I've never known her to like any sort of rock music, and so I think it was just something that didn't really jive at first, but she's coming around to it. She came to my Hawthorne Heights show in Flagstaff, and she came with my godmother, and like I pointed them out, and they were just getting free drinks the whole rest of the night, and they felt so cool.
So they really enjoyed it that night.
Yeah, yeah, it was like the funnest night ever. So that was, those types of moments are like the most priceless.
That's awesome. So like you being a performer, how long have you been in the band This Modern, by the way?
So we've been working with each other since like 2016, but this is our third band together.
Oh wow!
So
Really?
like so we I used to just go by my rapper name, Teammate Marcus, and like we used to play full band, like all my rap stuff. So that's kind of where we started working, but then we decided like let's do like some rock stuff. So we started a band called South of Jerome. And we did one project and then like hated it and wiped it off the internet completely. And then
So we won't be able to find it ever.
I don't think so. I've tried. You can still find like articles and stuff, but you can't find any of the music anywhere. And then we became a band called Without Feeling Weird. Same thing. We made another project, hated it, like got rid of it altogether. Did the Teammate Marcus thing almost like solely for a long time, and then I don't even remember the year at this point. Maybe 5 years ago, we came up with this modern idea.
Awesome.
And it's just stuck. I like retired my rap thing, and like I'm just locked in on this modern stuff right now. But it's been going super well, so we'll just keep it rolling, I guess.
Marcus with a C, why not a K?
How
do you feel about Marcus's with a K? How do you feel about that?
No, all love to them, because when I was Teammate Marcus, I spelt it with a K.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
That
it
was your little
Teammate
stage
Marcus
name?
with a K. It was like, yeah. And at that time, it was just like, yeah, they'll never know it's me. With the K, my name is with the C.
Because I see that on Instagram. It says Marcus with a C.
Yeah, so after I retired the Teammate Marcus thing, I was like, not Marcus with a K anymore. That's old Marcus.
I'm done with this disguise.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
rip it off. You know.
Marcus with a C is yeah.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Marcus
Yes.
with a C.
Thank you very much. Yeah, all love to Marcus with K's. I mean, it's
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah.
but no disrespect.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Yeah, 100%. It's wrong, but I respect it.
Well, you know what? Pick it up. Cheers again. Cheers to Marcus with a C.
Hey.
Knock over stuff. Yeah, so thank you for coming out. We still got a lot to talk about. Do you watch basketball a lot? Because I see that Dennis Rodman shirt.
Yep. I sure do. Yeah.
Who's your favorite player?
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker, I know. I love Devin Booker.
100%. I
Mine
actually
too.
went to Devin Booker's house, and this is a true story.
You did?
and they went to
okay.
the same high school. I think Devin finished his high school career in Mississippi at Moss Point, but he started his high school career in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so my buddy Harry still knows Davon, who is Devin's like older brother. And he invited me and Harry over to watch an away game at Devin Booker's house like 3-4 years ago. Wow. And it's his old house now. So I think he sold that house and has moved into like an even bigger house.
Yeah.
But at that time, that was still the coolest house I'd ever seen in my whole life. Yeah, walking
He
around.
has a unique style. So how was the interior when you?
It was like a lot of just modern white, like white countertops.
I love that,
yeah. Just white was kind of like the theme. And there was TVs everywhere that you look. And like his private chef was there and his mom was leaving. His mom was like, all right, have fun, boys. And it's like, thanks, Devin Booker's mom. Like,
Devin Booker's mom.
yeah, yeah. So that was like one of the coolest nights. And like, I totally fanboyed.
Yeah.
You know, just
Wow.
like being there. And I was just telling everyone, like, this is the coolest shit that's ever happened. Because I grew up like a massive Suns fan.
Wow.
I was like, this is like the equivalent of like if Steve Nash would have invited me to his house in 2010. Like, this
I
is
would
crazy.
geek over the Steve Nash. Oh
Yeah,
man, that's
so-
like one of my dream interviews, by the way, is Steve Nash.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I
Yeah.
geeked. I think I geeked a little too hard and never got invited back.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
did-
I was just
I
about
would've
to
done the
say,
same thing.
I respect the fact that you allowed yourself to fanboy
Yeah.
instead of like, oh, yeah.
Because when are you gonna get that
whatever.
opportunity
I wasn't
again,
gonna
right?
pretend. I was telling everybody like this is so cool, and I'm still pretty cool with like a lot of those guys. Like
Yeah.
Davon and I are still cool. But yeah, I've never been back, but I'm super happy to have had that opportunity even one
Mm-hmm.
time. And it was like just before he was the Devin Booker that we know now. You know, I think he had just scored 70 or whatever that night
Against the
and, like,
Celtics.
Yeah.
In the TD.
So it
program.
he was still like on the rise as far as like
Mm-hmm.
superstar basketball players. But no, he's for sure my favorite player. Suns are my favorite team, but I'll watch any sport.
Die-hard, loyal fan of the Suns. I like that.
Yeah, big time, my whole life. That was like as a kid, that's all I ever asked for birthday, Christmas presents was just like give me tickets to a Suns game. Like I don't even care.
Have you gone to a shit ton of games?
Yeah, in my life, yeah.
Cool.
Over the last like few years, not as much. Unless we're in the playoffs, I'll always like find a way to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I haven't gone to games like regularly in a bit, but I watch them all for sure.
Oh yeah. Are
And
you a
the one
sports
time-
girl, Cal?
One time I
Lauren?
played.
Not so much.
Not so
But,
much.
but I've enjoyed watching the Suns
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. What
is
lately.
your
It's
hat?
super fun. This is an artist who's actually from Arizona, Zella Day.
Got it.
Yeah, she's awesome. I just saw her. She was at Rebel Lounge.
That's what's up.
You were about to say something though.
Yeah, you were about
Well, I
to
was
say
gonna
something.
say I played outside the stadium before a Suns game like a few years back,
Oh, cool.
and it was like right
Ooh.
before COVID came and swept everything. So it was like maybe like January 2020 or something like that.
Mhm.
But that was like the coolest thing ever. Just playing outside the stadium, and it documented so well. So now I have all these cool pictures of me in front of the
awesome.
stadium. and
That's
all that sort of
awesome.
stuff. So yeah, I got to do that moment.
It was
That's what I
so
gonna
weird
say.
watching basketball when they had no crowd.
Yeah,
It was so weird.
all of the sports, dude. All of the
Yeah,
sports.
yeah, all the sports. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll watch anything. Anything. It's just like, are you guys playing something? Like, can I watch? Like, can I bet on this? Like, what are the odds? Like,
Do you watch wrestling?
what kind of wrestling are we talking?
Like WWE, like type of wrestling?
Occasionally. Honestly, more so because I'm a big Pat McAfee fan, and like when he
Oh,
kinda
okay,
got
yeah.
involved into that world, I kind of like my ears perked a little bit. But no, generally speaking, not so much. I'd honestly rather watch like college wrestling than WWE.
Like real wrestling.
Yeah, like real wrestling.
Real wrestling. Yeah,
Real
like
wrestling.
grappling and all that.
Yeah, yeah, with fucking cauliflower ears. And shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Does your girlfriend like sports?
She's no,
No.
she doesn't. She'll watch it, you know, and she's like a really good sport about not liking sports. So like,
That's
she'll-
the only sport she's cool
Yeah.
with.
It's
Being a good sport, not
one.
liking sports.
Yeah, so she'll. I mean, if I want the game on, she's never complaining or anything like that. And half the time she'll be like, "Oh, that was really cool." Like she loves when like a fan gets hit in the head with a ball, or like the referee trips on himself.
She
And
likes
she'll
the
be
drama.
like- yeah, I remember the first time she saw a referee got run over by an NFL player, and she was like, "I have always wanted to see that." I was like, of all the cool stuff that have happened in this game, like she just gets so excited about like little people tripping and
That's
shit like
hilarious.
that. So like, yeah, it is, yeah. But she doesn't love sports. She grew up playing tennis, that's about it. And her dad's really into cycling, so it's like tennis and cycling are two things that I'm not really into. So like she takes care of the sports that like I don't really have a lot of interest in.
What common interests do you guys share?
I guess I don't. That's such a weird question. We obviously like have our shows and stuff. We're both Disney nerds. We've always been Disney
Really?
nerds. Yeah, I grew up a major Disney nerd. More from like a musical side, I feel like Disney hires the greatest musicians in the world, and like whether it's like Hamilton or just any like Pixar movie, I feel like they nail the music so like uniquely every time. You know what I mean? There's a difference between like a Pixar soundtrack and like other movie soundtracks. So that's what's always drawn me to like Disney. For her, she I think just loves the nostalgia of it all. She goes crazy like planning Disneyland trips. She's on every Disney blog in America.
Wow.
She
Really?
could tell you the most minute things to do on a Disneyland trip. So like every time we go, and we go once or twice a year, she's always got a new spot. Or like, did you know that behind the Disney castle there's a thing? And like,
For real.
and like Disney just expanded their alcohol offerings inside of the park, and so she's all sharing it. She's all excited, like we gotta go try this, we gotta go try that. And so I think Disney for sure. Music, 100%.
Yeah?
She's been like the most supportive, unbelievable girlfriend on the planet.
That's awesome.
That is
Never, not even. And we've been together 6.5 years. Like she has never complained one time about a show or a late night studio session or anything like that.
Hey,
So-
that's love right there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
love.
awesome.
And I look around, not to point fingers at my own bandmates, but it's like I see girlfriends who are not like that. And it's just like, why are you not here with me right now, this very second? It's like, well, I'm working on something right now. And so for me, I've never had to apologize for like chasing my dreams as aggressively as I can. If that means like I'm not going to be home till midnight some nights, like she's all good. We're all good. We wake up in the morning and like everything's just fine. So
She understands the dedication.
100%, yeah. So
That's so cool.
I mean, there's more than that, but I think those are probably the big points
Yeah.
on like a day to day. And dogs, our dogs.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
have dogs?
We have 2 dogs and a cat.
Oh, very
And so
nice.
just like, yeah, animals have a way of bonding people, you know, just like that. So
Totally.
yeah, Disney, our dogs, music, and just like general support she's given me over the years.
oh yeah.
She's a personal trainer too, so like she tries to keep me in shape.
Does she help
Doesn't
you out with
always
that?
work. Yeah, she tries. She tries her best, but yeah. So there's a lot of things. She's like the perfect human being.
The perfect human being who you don't have to marry yet.
Exactly, 100%.
I was gonna mention something like that. Yeah.
Not that
Beat
we
you to
won't,
it.
and it's not that we won't. Trust me, we will. I just like we both want certain things before. It's like I've seen people get married, and they're struggling to pay bills still, and it's like financial things can like really get in the way. Or so like realistically, we'd like to have a house first, and like that's pretty much it. Like if we can like get a house and just have a place to be married instead of like moving from apartment to apartment or renting to renting to renting. Just want like a foundation, and like we're both on the same page, so it'll happen when it happens.
I think
Hell yeah.
it's important, like, obviously, to support your significant other and
Right.
like what they do, and it's easy for you because you and Austin both do music
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, everything you're saying resonates with me when it comes to my own relationship. We've been together almost 4 years, and we both know we want to get married, but we feel that there's no rush, and we want to be financially stable. Like,
Correct.
super similar situation. We want to have a place together, and if one of us is struggling to make money, we want to be able to rely on the other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's just
everyone has their own journey.
100%. And then the most beautiful weddings I've ever been to in my life were couples who were together for like 10 years or more. And like their families are already family. And it's like just a true celebration like that. Whereas a lot of times I feel like I've been to weddings where it's like this family is meeting this family for the first time, you know? And so like
Yeah.
my family and her family have gone on cruises together. And so like everybody
That's
is
awesome.
like gearing up and chomping at the bit for it. And it will happen. Don't worry.
Yes.
It'll happen soonish, I guess. But one day.
Hey,
at a
be
time, my
ready. It's
friends.
gonna happen soon.
Yeah, edit that last one. Just kidding.
We'll edit it out. Yeah, we'll edit it out. Yeah.
You mentioned a cruise.
Yeah.
I just went on a cruise, so I've got like the cruise bug. I just want to nerd out and talk about like
Dude.
every room in a cruise.
Oh my gosh.
What are your feelings about cruises?
I love
Do you
them.
share the enthusiasm?
Oh, I love them.
Aren't they just
love them.
the tits?
Yeah, and like
You say the tits?
Yeah,
The tits.
The
They are the
tits.
tits.
The tits.
I didn't think I would like it. You know, it seems like I always heard of it as like the poor man's vacation or whatever, and I was just like,
I have
yeah,
never
what
heard
did they say?
that.
Like when
Bullshit.
someone's going overseas, but it's on a cruise, it's like, are you really going overseas? That's kind of like a stigma about cruises. For me, I had the best time of my life. So it was 2021, 2. COVID was still like rocking, and we were going to Greece.
Oh.
What? A Greece cruise?
A Grecian cruise.
How
I feel like the cruise was
fun.
different too because of COVID, right? There wasn't a lot of
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and you had to be vaccinated to get on. So it was 100% vaccination on the cruise, and you had to get tested every fucking time you wanted to walk onto the boat. So like,
That's a process. in
yeah,
itself.
it was very annoying. And but yeah, we flew into Greece, Athens, and the boat took off from there, and we did a full week. Just seeing every different island.
Oh.
And it was the greatest thing of all time. It was my first time out of the country. And I feel like a lot of people's first time is like Mexico or like something like reasonable. Like I was in Greece and I was like, this is so crazy to me. My girlfriend's dad, he's Colombian, and so he's from Colombia, and so like, and he's lived everywhere. He's lived in France, so he's just like a renowned traveler. You know,
There you
he's
go.
just like knows what he's doing, and so he was able to set the whole thing up to where we were just like on different tours every day and having all sorts of fun. So yeah, cruises are amazing. My favorite part was that there was a karaoke bar on
Oh,
deck,
wow.
and as soon as it hit like 8 or 9, everybody went straight to the karaoke bar, and I was just doing my thing up there.
That sounds fun.
I love karaoke, like those sorts of situations. Like, yeah, heck yeah, I could turn like a boring karaoke room into a real fun one.
Okay.
go on a
Really, really
cruise.
quick.
So.
Never seen someone do Sweet Caroline like me.
Oh, is that so?
Never.
I want to see video.
I have it somewhere. Shoot, I'd have to find it. But yeah, that it exists. It does exist. It absolutely does exist.
Would you consider yourself to be a true front man when people think of a front man?
For sure.
Yeah?
For sure, for sure.
Elaborate on that. What makes you a true front man?
So I like to say like my time as a rapper actually shaped me more as a frontman than anything else. Because when you're a rapper on stage, you have nothing but yourself and the microphone. And you have to just do more. You have to be engaging with the way that you move your body. You have to be engaging in the way that you're like speaking to and connecting with the crowd. Because when it's just you up there, like any slip up, it stands out a lot more. And so if you watch us today, like I do kind of still have very rapper type movements, if you will, and even the way I hold the mic is super rappery, and so I feel like my ability to like do it whether there's people behind me or not really like sets us apart to where like when I do have people around me, they're just making the experience better, and so on top of that, like I love the interaction. I love to be the one meeting people after shows, like getting swarmed and that sort of thing, and signing the autographs and doing the selling and the pictures and stuff. Like,
You thrive on that?
yeah, that's what I've always dreamed of. You know, that's like, I don't know. There's a part of me where it's like I've always wanted that. I've always wanted to be that guy. And so, yeah, when I was young, like elementary school age, I would like before I would like get in the shower, I would bring like a boombox or whatever into the bathroom and just perform to myself in the mirror, like one-on-one
The
for
good old
years.
days with the boombox.
Yeah, like really, I'm serious. Like so embarrassing, but like I
Not
would.
at all, not at
I would, and the shower would be on for 40 minutes, and I'm in there fucking rocking out to myself.
When you were a kid?
When I was a
What did your
kid.
parents think of that? Like when they heard you in the
I
bathroom?
don't know. God only knew like what they thought I was doing in there. But I was like, I was singing and I was like performing to myself, and that was just like a thing that I did. And so like I've always like had a feel for how I should look and how I should act with a microphone in my hand. And so for lack of a better term, like I was super made for that particular role.
We got to see you perform. I haven't seen you perform yet with your band.
I'm through.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Do you have a next show coming up?
I think in October I've got a couple different things going on, but nothing until then, just because we were supposed to be wrapping up our EP, but we've got a lot of music, and We're doing remixes right now, at least a couple a week with Zach, and so we're just very, very busy. And I don't like to perform too much. Also,
Right.
if I can perform like once a quarter or so, I feel really good about myself.
Why?
It's like, unless you're on tour, and it's like, catch me in LA tonight, San Diego tomorrow, Colorado the next day. Like, unless you're on tour, if you're playing every single weekend, like, catch me here Friday, catch me here Saturday. If you can't make it, I'll be playing next Tuesday here, next Thursday there. It's like, people get real cool with just saying, oh, I can't make it, but I'll be at the next one.
So true.
Yep. And so if you oversaturate yourself, it gets hard to like promote and sell tickets the way you want to each event. And so for me, like I said, I think once a quarter for me is a really sweet spot to where I'm not playing too much. And every time we step on stage, like it's an event. I can ensure that everybody's there, and it's not as easy as saying, well, I'll hit the next one.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when that is. I don't know when it is either. So,
What inspired your sound? Because I want to read something
Yeah.
real quick off your Spotify.
yeah.
What inspired your sound? It's a high risk, high reward. That was the founding vision from your band.
Yeah.
And it's a blending melodic rock with pop, modern rap, and hip hop. Yeah. Yeah. So what
mouthful.
inspired that?
Just the fact that I was a rapper and like that was my strength.
Yeah.
It took a long time, like I said, 3 different forms of the band, to where like we didn't know if we were Linkin Park or Limp Bizkit or if we were 21 Pilots. Like, but at the end of the day, I don't think we're any of those things. Like, those are a lot more like aggressive, specifically Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park. I don't scream in my shit. Like, it's just a lot prettier version of a Linkin Park or a Limp Bizkit. And so I also don't like emphasize the rap as much as I do the singing. The rap is kind of a tasteful like after thing that I'll do. Some song like 1980s, I don't rap at all.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Yeah.
So like it's just wanting to blend it all in a way that doesn't feel like another Limp Bizkit in my face with his rapping. And so I try to do it a little bit more melodically and tastefully, and I really like catchy music. I love pop music probably more than anything.
Really?
I just, there's something about like the melodies in pop that sticks so much. Pop and country.
Hey,
Pop and
Lady
country.
Gaga's your queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show the tattoo.
Oh yeah, I got my Gaga tattoo.
Yeah.
up
There you
there.
go, yeah.
Who are your favorite pop artists?
I really like Melanie Martinez right now.
Oh, cool. Her new album.
Yeah, 100%. I love Ariana Grande, like anyone that you would probably think of. I love The Weeknd.
The Weeknd's good.
But then I draw a ton of inspiration from country artists too, like
Really?
Morgan Wallen for sure. I think is just like a great songwriter. I think country music artists write the best songs.
It paints a picture for
Yeah,
sure. When they
100%.
Yeah, their songs always paint a picture.
Yeah, when a country song is written so well, like to me, there's no genre of music that'll get me like either really emotional or like goosebumpy. Is like when a country song has been very, very well written, and like the verses tie into the chorus in like a way you might not even expect. And so yeah, country and country pop is kind of like starting to blend these days, anyways.
Yeah.
But I just love I love catchy music, and I've never been like a huge metal fan. I haven't been any metal fan, to be honest with you. My bandmates are all metalheads, so I've been introduced
You could hear
to
that
a lot.
sound in
Yeah. And we even have like that song with Dropout Kings that we have is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But that's the heaviest song I've ever made.
Is that the Act Right?
Yeah.
I loved that one.
Thanks. Yeah.
That one was so
and I'm rapping a
good.
lot more and Adam's screaming, but like I traditionally don't really like heavy music like that. I've always liked prettier stuff, and so it was just wanting to do a prettier twist on rap rock. And so the high risk, high reward, it was just like it's risky because no one's doing it, but like we felt like if it's gonna catch on, it'll super catch on, and so
What does high risk, high reward mean to you?
high risk, high reward. Basically, it's like there's a man. How do I even say this? I think like the type of music, like the vision itself, is not traditional. Like the music is very untraditional, and like you could look at that as a disadvantage. But I just felt like you're either going to really love us or really hate us. and there's not going to be a lot of in between.
There's no in between. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh, that artist is meh, you know, I could give or take. Yeah. But for us, it's like you're either going to really like it or you're going to really hate it. And so that's more what I think the high risk, high reward means than anything else. Is like it's going to be a little bit polarizing, and that's probably where the risk comes in. But if it catches, like the shit's going to catch.
Do you agree with that?
With his
With the meaning of high risk, high reward? Like, what's your opinion on high risk, high reward? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I feel like he said it really well.
Yeah.
High risk, high reward. I think that everyone could benefit from integrating more of that mindset into their lives, just living bold and just living boldly. There can be really cool things that come out of that, and it's, you know, better to look back on your life having lived with that mindset than not pushing yourself to try experimental things. So
Right,
I admire that. I
exactly.
think it's super cool.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, there's just so many artists out there, and a lot of them are just kind of sitting in like this kind of middle ground. And I was just like, I don't want to live in the middle ground. I'd rather be someone who super stands out for something different. So
Back to your single 1980s. Well, kind of in the realm of 1980s.
yeah.
Do you have like a favorite movie from the 80s?
Ooh.
Or like, what about the 80s in general just sticks out to you, like the decade?
My girlfriend's more the 80s person. She's like, she loves, she likes a lot of stuff from the 80s. When was Pulp Fiction made? Was that an 80s movie?
When was it? 94?
It's a 90s movie.
He's like 94.
I think 1980s just sounded really good, but her favorite movie was Pulp Fiction. I thought it was an 80s movie when I wrote the song.
Michael Jackson, Moonwalker.
So the song just falls apart now.
Yeah, I guess it sounded good, but no, I would say my favorite 80s movie, for what it's worth, probably The Karate Kids, all of them.
Okay, yeah.
Never seen those.
So good.
Never seen the Karate Kid?
So
haven't.
good.
Are
Wax
they,
on,
are they
wax
a
off?
must-see? Oh, yeah.
What?
I haven't.
Yeah.
There are a lot of classics I haven't seen. Got to get around to it.
What? Have you seen
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction?
I saw Pulp Fiction on a date with a guy, and I was like, I can't wait to watch Pulp Fiction. And I don't think that's what he wanted to do, and yeah, I didn't really watch Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction.
That's funny.
Moving on.
moving on. Mine, Michael Jackson, Moonwalker.
Oh,
that was
man.
87, 88, I want to say.
Classic.
I grew up watching that. It was on the VHS tape, and I would just stick it in the VHS player at my grandma's house, and I swear to God, watched it on repeat anytime I was over there.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
And I think even my girlfriend was like, "What movies do I like from the 80s?" And I was like, "Shh, oh, you like them all. Like now you do. Now you like all of them."
Nice. So, what brought the band together, first of all? How did you meet your bandmates currently?
So my dad's side of the family, super musically talented from like top to bottom. But they were all like church musicians, but like very classically trained church musicians. And so that's kind of where all their effort went. So my older cousin Thomas and I were always close. And he was like, "Hey, I'm starting a studio in Mesa. I got a friend, he's an engineer. Why don't you come and like be our first client?" Because I was doing my rap stuff. So I went over to that studio one day and just like heard what they had and played them some of what I had. And then they just literally dropped it on me like, "Do you want to be in a band?" And I was just like, "Yeah." You know, I've always been like a say yes to the opportunity sort of a person. So I said yes very hesitantly, but I said yes. And so yeah, the first version of our band, the actual front man was my cousin Thomas.
Okay.
He was doing all the singing and I was doing all the rapping. And then he ended up quitting the band after, literally as we're taking the pictures for our debut project that we had made, he quit the band right after the pictures were snapped.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole other thing.
Cold.
Yeah, but
You're like, gold.
after that we were just like, well, who's gonna sing? And they were just like, "Marcus, you're gonna sing." And I was like, okay, it looks like I'm gonna have to like learn how to sing.
Were you nervous too when they told you that?
Yes and no. I'm confident in myself, and like I was in choir. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like I can like read sheet music vocally and things like that. Like I am not completely not a singer. I just had never done it a lot musically for my own purposes, and so I was a little bit uneasy about it. But the first song that I went in and like recorded a chorus for myself, I knew like, okay, I can do this. This is no problem at all. And so I've just continued to get better. I've been in vocal lessons and just trying to master the art. like I said, I was in choir and stuff, so I had an idea of how to use my voice. I wasn't like a complete baby when it came to singing, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's not like you have to be so classically trained.
right,
Like some of the greatest voices out there aren't technically that impressive.
exactly, yeah. So
The lead singer from the format, well, Fun. We are
Yeah,
young.
oh yeah, Nate- with Nate Russo.
Yeah, Nate Russo. He wasn't classically trained either. He wasn't trained at all.
yeah,
He said
see?
how he trained himself was he would sit in his car, blast whatever song he liked, like as loud as he can, and just sing it and try to emulate that.
Yeah,
And that's how.
Great way to learn.
there you go. I've kind of been all that way too. I'll get really good at singing in other people's voices.
Yeah.
Kinda, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always kind of been that guy. But my ability to kind of morph it to what I need it to be always plays into my advantage, whether I'm rapping or singing.
So you said, what's the line again that I said? About to be 30, come and fuck with the old dude. Do you think
Yeah.
being 30 is old?
When I wrote that, I certainly did. Yeah, I was like almost 30. I say this sometimes. Like I spent the majority of my 20s just like fearing the day that I turned 30.
You're 30 now?
I'm 30.
30, exactly.
Yeah, 30 and a half.
30 and a half. Well,
Yeah.
got it. Can't forget the half.
Yeah, 30 and a half currently. But yeah, I spent so much of my 20s just like super afraid to turn 30.
Wait,
'Cause
why though?
I think to me, and it's more like from a rap perspective, like you don't see rappers blowing up at 30. And so that's kind of where my mindset
Well, Rick Ross,
was.
he blew up when he was like what, 35, 34, around there. Yeah, he was older.
But he's the outlier. And especially like when I was really rapping like the SoundCloud age, it was like Lil Pump was the biggest shit and he was 17 or 16 or something like that. And so it was just like, man, this rap game really doesn't like want me for sure. Like I'm just getting older. So like I think a lot of it had to do with that. And then yeah, just feeling like the clock was ticking like fuck, if I'm 30 and I'm not where I need to be, like it's over, right? For whatever reason I had convinced myself like turning 30 signified like the end of dreaming.
Wow.
And so
Well, how do you feel now?
I
Since you're
feel
30.
as good as I felt about like being a musician, you know. All of a
Really?
sudden, like, yeah, I turned 30 and then all of a sudden we've got like 250,000 monthly and like
Yeah, that's
all these songs doing really, really well. And so I don't know, I've done a lot of reflecting on it and I think it's just like it all happens the way that it's supposed to ultimately. And that's what I try to tell people too. It's like don't put other people's timelines up against your own because it's gonna take the time that it takes. And yeah, so currently I'm okay with being 30, and I'm okay with almost being 31 as well.
There you go. When's
So,
your birthday?
December 19th.
December.
Yeah. So so yeah, I don't think about it anymore. As a matter of fact, like I'm having a awesome time in my 30s, and I just feel like a
Hell
like
yeah.
a more mature version of like I'm still the same guy, just like mature in all the right ways.
A lot of people say being in your 30s is better than being in your 20s. Like
Yeah.
it's like a different,
It's
chapter.
Yeah, it's different.
like you're in your prime.
Yeah, like I haven't gone to like a club, like a nightclub in like a long ass time. And like I don't have any desire to. Whereas like that's the biggest thing that I see is like on a Friday night, I am cool with staying in or being at the studio and like taking a couple shots with my friends or whatever, or just watching Netflix and hanging out with my dogs.
I
Whereas
think that's the best.
Whereas like the 20s, I had FOMO like you would never believe.
Really?
So bad. Like if I knew my friends or like even if they weren't really my friends, like I have a group of people, coworkers were like at an event and I was not, I'd just be anxious and like
Fuck.
yeah, super FOMO, and I'd be like, I'm not going, I'm going, I'm not going, I'm going, and my girlfriend would be like, you have the worst FOMO of anyone I've
How
ever known
funny.
in my entire life, and I totally do. But nowadays, it's a lot different. Once I hit 30, I just like those cravings just went away almost overnight to like
Yeah.
be at every single event. I almost pride myself on the events that I don't attend. These days,
There you go.
you
Yeah.
know?
How do you feel about that? Because you're in your 20s. Well, I'm in my 20s.
How old are you?
How old are you?
I'm 24.
How old are you?
27.
Gotcha.
Yeah. How do you feel about that perspective since we're both in our 20s?
Yeah, I can totally relate to feeling like the clock is ticking. I think about that a lot, way too much.
It gets unhealthy if you think about it too
Yeah.
much, but I was a victim of that for sure.
100%. I'm trying to, I'm not so concerned with aging, what it's going to do to my body, what it's going to mean for how much. What am I trying to say? Yeah, I'm not so concerned with just the natural aging process.
Like the aches and pains that come along.
Yeah, the aches and
I get that now.
pains and the energy, having less energy, and how when you get older, your interests might change. But yeah, I'm just like what you said. I'm concerned about the clock running out and feeling like, okay, well, everything happens when it's supposed to. You can have that mindset, but also that mindset can be dangerous because then if you don't push yourself, it's
Yeah,
just,
it can make you complacent if you feel like, well, I can take all the time in the world that I want, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you're saying.
totally. What about you?
In my 30s, well, right now, being in my 20s, I'm actually looking forward to being in my 30s, honestly, because I feel like being in my late 20s now, like things are just finally getting started for me. And then once I'm in my 30s, I feel like, okay, that's going to be like the real decade for me.
Yeah,
Like, finally.
and especially in like what you're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there is no
Be the
age
next
limit
Larry
for
King.
that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When Larry
must be
King
nice.
was like the goal, it's like,
He
yeah,
became famous. Well, he was doing it for like 60 years, but when he was actually known, he was like already in his 40s.
yeah.
He's like Morgan Freeman. You can't picture him young. You just know
Yeah,
the old
and I think
version.
there's
You always
something
look
to
old.
that where it's like the older you get, the wiser you get, and the more people want to hear what you have to say.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
The more things you experience, the places you've been, all that.
Right, people automatically assume that like you have more to offer, you know, as either as an interviewer or whatever. So like your chance gets greater the older you get potentially.
Maybe I'll just
Whereas
put on
poor
some
us over here,
suspenders.
it's like
Yeah,
the opposite.
we can't get
Yeah,
ugly.
yeah.
We can't.
Yeah.
we can't become. You know, we need to be able to move freely
Yep,
on stage.
Yep. I need my
have
lungs. I need all
energy.
that shit. Exactly.
I mean, that,
Be
you
with
know,
the times.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
as long as you have a good diet and stay healthy,
totally.
active, you know, right?
Which
Of
I
course.
don't have a good diet.
You have your personal trainer girlfriend.
Yeah,
So
well,
you're
I'm
ahead
like
of us.
active in the gym 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week if I'm like feeling it. But like I eat like shit.
Do you have a sweet tooth?
Oh my god! Like you
donuts and
wouldn't
shit?
believe.
Really?
My real addiction is sour candy.
Oh, like
Sour
More than
candy.
anything in the world, my addiction is sour candy. I salivate. Just thinking about
wow.
it. And it'll get to
Is
a
that
point.
really so hard for you to avoid?
You have no idea. Like I'll be at home and like we'll have no candy left, and I'll be like I can't even focus on anything other than just like I
What?
need sour shit in my mouth.
Just sour
That's
shit.
hilarious.
I'm serious, and I'll order GoPuff. I might be GoPuff's #1 customer in America.
Wow. Okay.
What's your go-to sour candy?
What it used to be was they used to be called Shockers. Does
Shockers.
anyone remember Shockers? They were like Sprees. You know Sprees? They were like Sprees, except they were sour as shit, and they were called Shockers. They used to come in like a little tube, like Mentos do. And then they changed them to being like sour Sprees, chewy sour Sprees, and then they were just gone.
How does your girlfriend feel about that? Like
The
all
sour
sweet-
candy?
Well, just in general, your sweet tooth. Yeah.
She'll partake. She probably feels worse about it because yeah, she always is like, give me some of that, you know? And so it's
Yeah.
like, it probably makes her feel guilty, but no, she doesn't really give me much shit about that. Not as much as she should. She might try to talk some sense into me, but no, I'm like, when it comes to sour candy, it is a disaster.
We all have our vices.
And that
We
is
do.
my like #1 vice on earth.
You got to get yourself some straight up citric acid. We got that at the coffee shop I work at. So we'll just sprinkle some in. It's not sweet at all. It's just what makes things sour.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you can take a little spoonful of it and it's like a warhead times 10.
I'll probably
It's a
like
thrilling
it a little bit
experience.
too much to where like shoot, I'll have no enamel left on my teeth.
Oh
like,
my
I'm
God.
fucking gonna
Yeah,
Just try it at
that's-
least
burn
once.
my shit off.
Try it at least once.
Yeah, citric acid. Where do you buy that?
Pretty
It's
much.
like, you have
Anywho.
any citric acid?
Just go where she's at. She'll hook you up.
Yeah,
Black Rock
yeah.
Coffee Bar.
Yeah. My Instagram feed is like all these tiny little mom and pop candy brands and shit.
Seriously, you are like that.
Yeah,
really
no, I'm
funny.
serious. And so like this is people think I'm weird for this. I got this advertisement for like this lady who freeze dried all these candies. And I was like, this is so awesome. Like
Yeah.
these videos are so addicting to watch. Like they come out and they're all huge. And so I was like, where do I even get this? And I looked at it and she lived in Gilbert and I live in Chandler. So I was like, I need to meet this person. Like, I'm gonna come and buy it, but I'm not having you ship it. I'm coming to your house. Like, I want to know who this human being is. So like, now I have a freeze-dried candy lady in Gilbert
No,
who like,
you don't.
I'll go
That's
and pick
your
up.
dealer?
Yeah,
That's your deal, man.
she's my dealer. Shout out to her. Freezy Crunch is the name of the company.
Freezy Crunch.
Freezy
Yep.
Crunch.
Yep.
Wow.
Maybe we could put that on the screen. Freezy
Yeah,
Crunch.
shout out to Freezy Crunch because she supplies me with like
Wow.
freeze-dried candy when I'm in the mood for that.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Is that the same thing with drinking?
What do you mean?
Like, do you have like the same craving with drinking than when you do with candy, or is it
No.
just complete night and day?
Dude, I don't have any craving in the world like sour candy.
Oh wow.
And this, I'm talking about someone who smoked weed for years. You know, I enjoy beers and shit like that, but
That is really funny. I appreciate the fact that you are this tatted up rapper with the gold chain who loves Disney, sour candy, Ariana Grande.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
There you go.
Got to be
Respect.
diverse, you know? Can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Not
No,
this
you
book.
cannot.
Not
What's
this
the
book.
craziest alcohol experience you've had?
You love asking
Oh,
alcohol
God.
I think I
questions.
asked you that maybe, or something
Oh,
similar.
man.
The one that you could, remember.
Ciroc.
There's
Ciroc.
there's
Did it
like
involve Ciroc?
there's
Yeah.
so many because I'm that guy too. Like, have you seen that trend where it's like a group of friends will be hanging out and they'll all go one by one, be like, all right, I'm Sarah, I think this guy's gonna be the drunkest tonight. I'm this guy, I think she's gonna be the drunkest tonight.
Yeah.
If you did that with all my friends, the answer would be me, and there's not even a close second. Because like I like to fucking turn up, and I don't like to drink every day, but when I do, I get after it.
Yeah.
I super get after it, and so I don't know. Craziest experience, it would be like way too hard to even have one. Unfortunately, I've never been like arrested or anything like that.
Unfortunately, you said?
No, so I'm fortunate.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I
unfortunately.
heard that too.
I'm
Yeah.
In your
fortunate that I've
defense.
never been like arrested, frankly. But dude, I don't know. I couldn't even name one. I used to be that guy like in college. Holy shit! I used to like go and get an AMF at the bar,
Uh-huh.
and I would be like, "Does anyone think I could chug this whole thing right now?" And I'd sit there and down a whole AMF in like one sitting.
Would it be the type of thing where your friends were like, "Oh my God, do it," or you were
No.
gonna do it anyway if they weren't watching?
I still do it to this day. I'll be like, I'll crack open a beer and I'll look at my friends and be like, I know what you guys are thinking. You don't think I could chug this whole thing. And everyone just rolls their eyes by now and is like, yeah, none of us think that you could chug it. And I'm like, shit, you guys, I'm going to have to prove you wrong. So it's still something that I do.
Just to drive them nuts.
Yeah, I just like to have fun with it. But I don't know. Craziest drinking story, I guess I don't, nothing even really comes to mind, probably because, but have you guys ever, what were they used to call? There was like a vodka Red Bull. Like you take a can of vodka, you pop it open like you're going to shotgun it. They pour some vodka in there, and then you shotgun a vodka Red Bull.
Oh, God, I've never
have
done
not
that.
done
No,
that.
I've not done that.
I forget what they were
Put
called.
that on the bucket
I
list.
think, snorkels. They're called
Snorkels.
snorkels. I
Okay.
used to get
Put
those a
snorkels
lot.
on your bucket list.
I will. I will.
Yeah. So, I mean, every alcohol night is fun, but I don't have anything that stands
Even right
out,
now,
frankly.
it's fun, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right now, it's
Crack
super
open
fun.
another one.
Thank you for introducing this combination
Oh,
to us.
absolutely.
Would never thought.
Yeah, it's going to give it more exposure to the rest of the world, I hope.
Lauren, do you have any last minute questions you'd like to ask
Are
Marcus?
we almost wrapping up?
I believe so.
Oh,
Already. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
I
What the
guess
heck?
so. I mean,
Yeah.
I did. I had a lot of questions, but I'll just narrow it down to one, maybe two.
Look at you. I only have like 3 things.
It's
like,
funny. Really?
Yeah. Wait,
Well,
what?
I mean, you're just so good on the spot. You don't even need to look at a list.
I'm not that good.
Don't sell yourself short, Larry King.
Nah.
Yeah.
I had written down what's an interest you have that's unexpected, but you clearly took care of that. Check that box off. Okay. Would you rather have an original song featured in Barbie or Oppenheimer,
Oh my.
and why?
I was gonna bring.
It had to be brought up at some point.
I would have to say Barbie, right? I mean, it would have to. Why? I can. What kind of song gets featured in Oppenheimer?
There wouldn't be. There
That's
wouldn't
what I'm
be,
saying.
but I had to ask
If it was
anyway.
like, if I was
Maybe in
doing
the
like
credits.
an orchestra, big time epic orchestral stuff, then Oppenheimer. But my brand of music, like if 1980s was in Barbie, that's not that crazy. You know what I mean?
It could fit.
Yeah, it's pop punk and it's cool. So I would say Barbie. The answer to that question is Barbie.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're like thinking, did you see any of those
No,
movies?
I haven't
No.
gone. I need to.
Yeah.
I don't watch much,
Yeah.
frankly. I just
Really?
we have the studio space, so I'm there like 5-6 nights a week, just like
Grind mode.
working,
Grinding,
grinding.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So like the one thing that I do have to sacrifice is like TV shows and movies and stuff. So yeah, name a TV show.
2.5
You.
Men.
Haven't seen it. Used
You?
to watch it back in
You
the day.
watch it? Yeah.
But I do that, they'll be like, yeah, House of the Dragons, never seen it. Game of Thrones, never seen it.
I've never
name it.
seen you.
Breaking Bad.
Never seen it.
Never seen that. I haven't seen it either.
Narcos, never
You
seen.
haven't
Like,
seen Breaking
I
Bad?
haven't. No.
name a show.
Has anybody
I
here
haven't
seen
seen it.
Breaking Bad? Thank God.
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Haven't seen any of them. Like, that's the one thing that, like, if I'm gonna be doing music and working full time, like, something's gonna have to like take a back burner, and for me, it's movies and
As
TV.
long as you're not
Good for
sacrificing
you.
your dogs.
No,
Yeah.
certainly not. No, they get all the love and attention. In fact, my wiener dog, Sparky,
Sparky.
he's in school. He does agility training.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
So
What's his
he's
degree?
Yeah.
agility. So he yeah, like they go to a course on Monday nights, and there's a bunch of dogs that come, and like they learn how to do the obstacle course and jump over stuff and in and out of the thing and the hoops and the loops and the
So he's an athletic dog.
yeah, he's awesome.
Can you run paces over you?
Yeah, oh, for sure. He is fast. But then, like, if I go to the class and he sees me there, like, I'll be filming off to the side, and he'll notice me, and he'll just run straight to me. So, like, I can't go to
It's
class.
like a kid, like
Yeah.
a literal
That's
kid.
Yeah, so my
Yeah.
girlfriend takes him. I'll go sometimes, but like I said, I distract the shit out of him, and so it's hard for him to get shit done. But I go to all the graduations. There's graduation
There are
ceremonies.
multiple graduations for Sparky, just when he
Yeah.
accomplishes things?
Yeah, it's like anything, you move up grades
is
and stuff
fucking-
like that.
That's
Is
awesome.
this expensive?
It's not that bad. No, like a few $100. And it's
Oh.
like 8-week long courses, and then they have like semesters, and then like it's off for the summer. Everyone's on summer vacation. Plus, it's hot as shit. But yeah, my dog is in classes, so
That's like literally that's your kid.
yeah,
That's your kid.
100%. They got pictures of him like his little graduation hat on.
You have to
it.
show us that. Come on. Do you
Yeah.
have it on your phone?
My girlfriend does, cause
Oh, okay.
yeah, I took it on her
Wow.
phone, but yeah, Sparky's a good guy. I'll tell you that.
Well,
much.
you know what, Sparky, you're in all our hearts. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're rooting for you.
Cheers, Sparky.
So, Marcus, before we end this interview,
man.
what have you learned being in a band with this modern, or just in general, actually, with all your bands? What have you learned doing music throughout all that time?
I think that slow and steady wins the race.
High risk, high reward, though.
High risk, high reward. The thing about people who are like coming up super quick, it's like here today, gone tomorrow sort of a thing. And I just feel like I've worked too hard to even potentially be like a one-hit wonder type. And I just like, you got to build up your foundation up very strongly. Like you got to make sure your team's in place and you've got your operations all together. So my thing is, yeah, just slow and steady wins the race. Don't put yourself on any time limits. There is not a timer happening. As much as we may feel like it is, it's not. It's in our heads. Yeah.
In 20
Thank you,
years, you'll see me in
Marcus.
suspenders, so
Yeah.
be ready for that.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Less than 20 years, hopefully.
Yeah, you'll be on CNN.
See, maybe. Well, I'll be on my own. I'll be on my own network at that point. So
What's it called? Austin Kelly
The
Network?
vibe.
the Vibe, Austin. I could, create the Vibe network, but then just have the Austin Kelly show. I used to be under the Vibe, and then I changed it to the Austin Kelly show. Yeah.
Oh. Edit that out. I forgot.
Nah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. If anything, edit this bald spot out right here. Yeah.
I have a bald spot.
You do? Oh. That's a scar
That's
though,
an
right?
interesting shape. Oh, it's a scar?
So
Okay.
It's a birthmark scar.
Oh.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
I was
explain.
born with no hair right here, like this big patch right here. It's a condition called nevus sebaceous. It has something to do with my glands on the top of my head. But there was like something wrong with it. And so when I was 5, I had to have surgery on it. And it's like took a different shape after the surgery. They kind of had to alter it a little bit.
Wow.
But it turned into a scar after my surgery, but it's actually a birthmark. So it's
Oh.
a trademarked birthmark scar.
Trademarked birthmark scar.
Do you think you'll ever have like a This Modern EP come out with some cool black and white picture of your scar? Because I had that vision just now.
No, I
You
think
have to do it.
with teammate Marcus, I had one. It was called Red Jacket, and it was like me kind of face to the side, and you could see it. Because I do like it, you know.
That
like
is kind of
yeah.
badass.
It's like confuses the shit out of every barber I've ever had in my life. It's like, how do you want me to do it? I'm just like, just cut the hair. Like, it's all good. Like, it's not extra sensitive or anything. So, yeah. And if you like needed to pick me out of a crowd, like, just look at the back of my head.
Just look in the back of the
It's
head, yeah.
easy.
It'd be easy.
If the Mickey
Pulling you
tattoo
out.
didn't help.
Yeah, or
if
the Mickey tattoo, yeah.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, on the bald spot comment. Yeah. Sorry.
There you go. Well,
Wanted
hey,
to throw
we,
that in
we
before we
always
wrap.
learn something new about each other every time, you know. Well, catch Marcus and his band This Modern. He's the front man. Whenever you can, he's playing live in October, sometime in October.
Yeah,
That's
we
my
got
birthday
another-
month, so
We got another Riot Night in October. It's gonna be like a super loaded lineup. So
Okay.
definitely want to go to that.
awesome. Yeah, so catch them. Be sure to follow them on everything, right? Spotify,
Everything.
Instagram.
Yep. Please do
Yeah.
reach out. I love to hear from people.
Yeah, and fuck it. Follow Lauren Case.
Yeah. Follow Lauren
Yeah.
Case.
Lauren
AKA,
Case on
you know,
Insta.
briefcase, nutcase. Yeah.
Briefcase, nutcase, display case.
Display. That's a new one. Display
Whatever
case.
helps you
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's great talking with you, Marcus.
Yeah.
You're a super cool guy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And
you
follow
guys. This was
Austin,
fun.
the Austin Kelly Show, and Austin Kelly
Absolutely.
host. Yes. And that's it. Thank you guys.
Woo.